Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made a transfer demand to our board, saying that he wants Manchester United to spend big in this summer transfer window because he does want a big squad for next season. Now Solskjaer's obviously already outlined his transfer plans. He has instructed our board to go and get his preferred targets, and Solskjaer has said he wants to make at least 3 signings in this summer transfer window. Now, there is a lot of players on our agenda. Obviously, our number one priority target is Jadon Sancho. A lot of Manchester United fans now believe that Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is off. Like I updated you yesterday night, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has changed his mind on the Jadon Sancho transfer. Now we are looking at alternatives because these cheaper solutions than Sancho. Obviously, we've been looking at Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. We've also been looking at Rabbi Matondo from Schalke. We've been looking at Thiago Almeida. We've been looking at Douglas Costa from Juventus. It also said that we have looked at Vinicius Jr. Federico Chiesa from Fiorentina. We've also looked at him. But yeah, I personally think now Sancho is not coming to Manchester United. He did recently say that Real Madrid and Barcelona had entered the race for him, and one of them could sign him next year if we fail to sign him in this summer transfer window. Now, obviously, Borussia Dortmund CEO, he said that Jadon Sancho will remain at Borussia Dortmund. So he said the exact same thing as what Michael Zorg said, the Borussia Dortmund sporting director, because he said not too long ago that Sancho will be staying at Dortmund and the decision is final. And he also revealed that Dortmund secretly extended Jadon Sancho's contract until 2023. Dortmund made it clear that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player, but we missed out on the deadline to sign him. Now, obviously, there's a lot of Manchester United fans that want Jadon Sancho to sign for the football club, and I've given you a few of the main explanations why I want him to come to the club. Is because it will dramatically improve us. He's predominantly a right winger, and Man United need a right winger, and he has got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. Now, it was looking very, very imminent that Sancho was going to be signing for the football club the other week because you had Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist. He said that negotiations between Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund were at an advanced stage, and he mentioned that Sancho agreed personal terms with Man United, and he mentioned that he was set to sign a 5-year deal with the club worth around £250,000 a week. But Fabrizio Romano still believes that Sancho at Man United is on. You had James Cooper, who's close to Man United. He came out a couple of days ago and said that Sancho still wants to come to Man United. He said that Man United do not miss out on players that they intend on signing. But, we first expressed our interest in Sancho in 2017. So we have been in for him for like the last 3 years. Sancho's enjoyed 3 good years with Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, Dortmund got him for next to nothing. They only paid $8 million for him from Manchester City back in 2017. But analyse his performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. Sancho, of course, did enjoy 2 years with Man City, but the main explanation why he left City is because City could not assure him first-team opportunities, and before he was at City, he was at Watford. I think he was at Watford from the age of 7 to the age of 14. Liverpool were in for him before, but they're no longer in for him now. And Chelsea were in for him before, but they're no longer in for him now. We did make a promise to Sancho, saying that we was willing to offer him the number 7, because obviously we think he'd fulfill the number 7 role really, really well, and plus we've got number 7 vacant at the moment, but we have had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. So yeah, Sancho's probably going to be the third player we're going to miss out on under the Solskjaer era, because we've already missed out on 2 players since Solskjaer came in, and that was Erling Haaland and Jude Bellingham. But throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block, because Borussia Dortmund have said that, they want over £100 million. We have said we're not willing to meet this valuation. I think Borussia Dortmund's valuation is around 108 million. Obviously, they was looking for like 90 million pounds up front. I think we'd set our limit, and we said we was only willing to pay 60 or 70 million pounds up front. But obviously, it was coming back out in February earlier on this year, saying that Sancho had agreed almost every little detail of a move to Man United. It said the only thing that hadn't been agreed was the actual fee. I'm still not going to fully disregard Sancho coming, but I just think it's very, very unlikely now it is going to happen. Another player that is on Manchester United's agenda, and that is Jack Grealish. Now, Jack Grealish is another one of our priority targets. Now, I think Jack Grealish is in Greece. He's been doing training sessions over there. He did say when he returns from his holiday, he will hold crunch talks with Aston Villa's chief executive, Christian Purslow, regarding his future. Now, Aston Villa have said that they want £80 million for Jack Grealish, so they do remain ruthless over their valuation. Personally speaking, I don't think Jack Grealish is worth £80 million. I'm very sceptical that Man United will pay this for him. Aston Villa obviously avoided relegation, so I think there's a good chance that I could remain at Aston Villa for next season. But on the other side of things, if Villa would have got relegated, then I could have fully assured that Jack Grealish would have left them. I think we was hoping to get Jack Grealish for around 40 or 50 million pounds. And it says we was also willing to more than double his wages. The reasons I'd take Jack Grealish at Manchester United is because he's well proven in the Premier League. His stats throughout the course of the season have been very, very good, and he's very versatile. Up until this point, Jack Grealish has spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa. He's been a Villa player since the age of 6, and he's been in their senior squad since 2014, and since then has become an integral part of their team. Still got a few years left on his contract. He's under contract with Villa until 2023. Is Jack Grealish. So he's another player on our agenda. Recently, I give you the latest news on Donny van de Beek from Ajax. He says actually Donny van de Beek is our priority over Jack Grealish. Well, Donny van de Beek is a cheaper solution than Jack Grealish. But Donny van de Beek has been recently speaking about his future, and he insists that he's happy with Ajax and he would not complain if he was to remain at Ajax for next season. Probably Donny van de Beek would cost us in the £40 million range. He did say earlier on this year that Real Madrid had reached an agreement to get Donny van de Beek for around £47 million, but actually Donny van de Beek had denied this. I like Donny van de Beek a lot, predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. Up until this point, he spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. Obviously, he joined Ajax's youth system in 2008, was in their youth setup for a good 7 years, then broke into their senior squad in 2015. And he's made over 100 appearances in all competitions, I think. He's got a contract with Ajax until 2022, so still a few years left on his contract. And he was key for Ajax progressing to the Champions League semi-final last season. Was it a couple of seasons ago? Ajax did win the domestic double. But Edwin van der Sar did confirm Man United and Real Madrid's interest earlier on this year. Don't forget Ajax lost Frankie de Jong to Barcelona. Was that last summer? They also lost Matthias de Ligt to Juventus. But I think there's a lot of Manchester United fans that would take Donny van de Beek at the football club. Obviously, Gabriel Mercado, he's been another player on our agenda. He is a centre-half, is Gabriel Mercado, and Man United are in search for a centre-half. Obviously, we're looking for someone to go alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. I'm very sceptical that we'll get Gabriel Mercado. Lille's president, Gerard Lopez, he's come out and confirmed that Gabriel Mercado is going to be leaving Lille. I don't think he's made a decision yet on what his next club is going to be. Obviously, Man United and Arsenal are interested in him. I think he's actually not going to be going to Napoli by the looks of things, because it did say from Sky Sports the other week that Napoli were the favourites to get him. Napoli have already signed Victor Osimhen from Lille for around £45 million. Also mentions that Everton have been interested in the player. He's a cheap solution, he's available for around 20 odd million pounds. Got a contract with Lille till 2023. Lille paid, was it 1.5 million for him from Avia, and he also had loan spells with Dynamo Zagreb and Troyes, and he's only the age of 22. Kalidou Koulibaly, he's been another player on our agenda. I can't see us getting Kalidou Koulibaly. I think there's more chance of him, going to Manchester City. More chance of him going to Manchester City and all of that. But yeah. As you all know, our first signing of the summer has been made. We signed Filip Stevanovic from Partizan Belgrade for €12 million. But as you all know, he's going to remain at Partizan Belgrade on loan for next season. Then he's going to officially join Manchester United in the summer of 2021. You already know about that anyway. But like I said, we're not only going to focus on the incomings in this summer transfer window, we're also going to focus on the outgoings as well, because we are going to get rid of players in this summer transfer window. We get rid of players, obviously our transfer budget will increase. I think at the end of the Premier League season, it said we've got around £140 million to spend. Now, the players I think we're going to get rid of, Jesse Lingard, looking to get rid of him, despite Solskjaer wanting him to stay. Don't forget, Solskjaer is an admirer of Jesse Lingard because he did coach Jesse Lingard as a youth player. Lingard's just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for the further year. Lingard has been part of the club for several years. Andres Pereira, he's very imminent now. He's leaving the football club. Obviously, his agent's been talking with clubs in Germany, Spain and Portugal. We need to get rid of Andres Pereira anyway, because he has found game time very difficult since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes. I think Chris Smalling, we'll be looking to get rid of him. Sky Sports have recently said that Newcastle are interested in Chris Smalling, but he's rejected Newcastle, and Chris Smalling said he wants to make a move to Italy. Inter Milan and Roma are in for him. Don't forget, Chris Smalling's just been out on loan with Roma not too long ago, but Solskjaer did say he was in regular contact with Smalling whilst he was out on loan with Roma, and he still insists that he does have a future at Man United. Smalling's been long-serving at Man United. He's enjoyed a good, 9 or 10 years at the club. But I think we want around £20 million to let Smalling go permanently. Rojo, I think, we're also going to get rid of him. He's been out on loan at Estudiantes. I think his agent actually wants him to stay at Manchester United or Rojo's. Phil Jones, I think we're also going to get rid of him. Obviously, Phil Jones is out with injury at the moment. He's got that knee injury. Sustained a few injuries as a Man United player. Phil Jones is approaching his 10th year at Man United, and he has been with us since the Alex Ferguson era. Diego Dalot, I also expect Manchester United to get rid of him. Enjoyed a very, very difficult season. Made 11 appearances for Man United in all competitions. Only made one start in the Premier League, but Dalot had back-to-back injuries earlier on in the season. He's had a couple of years now at Man United, but I just don't think he's good enough to represent the club. Paid £19 million for him in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window, like I said. And he's our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. It recently says that Everton are interested in Dalot, and Everton believe they can get him for around £10 million. There's a possibility chance that, we could get rid of Eric Bay in this summer transfer window. There were stories coming out the other week saying that we offered Eric Bay to AC Milan. Eric Bay is obviously one of our backup centre-halves. Obviously, though, he's too injury-prone, and this is probably the main explanation why we do want to obviously get rid of him. This has been Bay's 4th season at Manchester United. We got him from Villarreal back in 2016 for £30 million. But he's far too injury-prone. Juan Mata, you know, do you think he could possibly leave in this summer transfer window? Personally speaking, I think we'll keep Juan Mata for next season. I know that Juan Mata doesn't get in the team a lot now, but when he does make a fantastic impact. He's done well in the Europa League recently, you know, made an impact when he came on against Copenhagen. Also got both of the assists in the 2-1 win against Lask not too long ago in the second leg. But this has been Juan Mata's 6th year at Manchester United. Obviously, we got him from Chelsea back in 2014 for just under £40 million. Like I've said to you as well, Solskjaer's got a goalkeeping decision to make because he's facing a goalkeeping dilemma. Because he did say prior to the Copenhagen game that it will be difficult for Man United to keep De Gea, Romero and Dean Henderson all at the football club for next season. I think definitely Solskjaer's got to put Dean Henderson as our number one for next season. You know, but Solskjaer did recently say that I don't think Dean Henderson is ready to become Man United's number one goalkeeper for next season. I think now Dean Henderson's reliable to become our number one. You know, he's got that experience behind him. He's just enjoyed 2 successful loans with Sheffield United and he has been Sheffield United's player of the season. And Dean Henderson's got a contract with Man United till 2022. But like he updated you on my recent video, Dean Henderson does want to commit his long-term future with Manchester United. He'll only stay at the club if he's assured to be number one for next season. I think contract talks are still ongoing between Manchester United and Dean Henderson. The story's coming out as well saying that we could loan him out again for next season, but he won't be going back to Sheffield United because Sheffield United have agreed to get Aaron Ramsdale from Bournemouth for 18.5 million. You know. But obviously, you know, David De Gea has been our number one goalkeeper for several years, but, you know, he's too much of a liability now. Like I've said to you before, David De Gea's had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at Man United. And he's now approached his 10th year at the football club. If he was to sell David De Gea in this summer transfer window, I think we'd get £60 million for him. But we'd make a huge profit because we paid just over 18 million for him from Atletico Madrid back in 2011. You know, De Gea has made 404 appearances for Man United in all competitions. 300 odd of those appearances have come in the Premier League. De Gea, of course, has won everything domestically at the football club. And he has won individual awards reflecting on his good run of performances. So I think he's got to get rid of one of our goalkeepers. Obviously, we've got Romero as well. This is obviously, you know, Romero's 5th. This was Romero's 5th season at Man United. Obviously, we got him on a free transfer from San Pandora back in 2015. Romero's just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for the further year. Obviously, you know, Romero this season's played in all our League Cup games, all our FA Cup games prior to the semi-final, and he's obviously, you know, played in our Europa League games. If David De Gea was to be sold, and Dean Henderson was obviously to be our number one, then Romero would be our second choice, like he is now at the moment. But if De Gea was to stay, and obviously, you know, Dean Henderson was obviously still to be number one, then Romero would be third choice goalkeeper. So reflect on that, then he'd probably want to leave the football club. I do believe for next season that Luke Shaw will remain our first choice left back. Obviously, you know, Luke Shaw is more experienced than Brandon Williams, and that's what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to go on. You know, this has been Luke Shaw's 6th year at Manchester United. We did get him from Southampton back in 2014 for just £30 million. He's a very, very good left back, and I think he's enjoyed a good season this season. But my only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. And he's out with an ankle injury now, and he's not going to be back until the new season. But Brandon Williams has still enjoyed a very, very good season, and he's definitely the foreseeable future for Manchester United. He really, really is in that. Solskjaer's got some contract decisions to make because we've got around 7 or 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. But to be fair, we have extended a lot of players' contracts since Solskjaer got recommended into the football club. Now, obviously now our focus is the Europa League. You know, we've got a big game tonight against Sevilla in the Europa League semi-final. Obviously, it's our second European semi-final since Alex Ferguson's retirement, and it is our 3rd semi-final this season because obviously, you know, we got to the EFL Cup semi-final and we also got to the FA Cup semi-final. And Solskjaer has confirmed his plans to ensure that Manchester United get to the Europa League final. He has said our players must use her from our 2 semi-final defeats this season. But this will be a very, very tough game because, like I said, Sevilla, very, very good team, well organised. They've got some good players. Don't forget, Sevilla are the record holders of the Europa League because they have won the competition 5 times. They most recently won it back in 2016. I think they beaten Liverpool in the final. Don't forget, Sevilla are unbeaten in their last 19 games, and they finished 4th in the La Liga this season. The last time we played Sevilla was back in 2018 in the last 16 of the Champions League. They had beaten us by 2-1. But I think in the game tonight, Solskjaer's not going to take any risks. He's going to go with his, strongest 11. I presume we'll probably make a few changes from our 1-0 win against Copenhagen recently, but it's very, very imperative that we start this game on the front foot against Sevilla. Because like Solskjaer was saying in his press conference, we can't start on the back foot against good teams. Because he said if you can't get them tackles and you can't get them touches, then, it's going to be extremely difficult. Because we started very, very poorly against Copenhagen on Monday. We also started very, very poor against Sevilla when we played them back in 2018 twice. So we've got to start the game on the front foot. We've got to start this game on the front foot. But we are only 2 games away from winning the trophy. But I give you the main explanations why I want Manchester United to win the Europa League. I want us to win the Europa League because it will be our first trophy under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Plus, it will be our first trophy in over 3 years, so it will end our trophy drought. And it will be our second Europa League because obviously, we won the Europa League back in 2017 under the Jose Mourinho era. And Solskjaer did say, was it the other week, that winning the Europa League as Manchester United manager would be one of his greatest achievements. So he means it would surpass 1999. Obviously, the other European semi-final is Inter Milan against Shakhtar Donetsk. But this will be an extremely difficult game. During the press conference, like I said, Solskjaer didn't really give any indication on what team he's going to go with. He didn't really talk about transfers. Obviously, reacted to Bayern Munich beating Barcelona 8-2 when he described Bayern Munich as the best team in Europe and all of that. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes rejects comparisons with Eric Cantona. He doesn't believe as yet he's on the same level as Eric Cantona. I believe he's got to do a hell of a lot more. He's basically, Bruno Fernandes says he's come to Manchester for the club and he's come to obviously win trophies. And Fernandes said he will be happy if Man United do win the Europa League. Bruno Fernandes has definitely enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. I think he scored 11 goals for us in all competitions since his arrival from Sporting Lisbon. Obviously, he's won Player of the Month 3 times, but he's definitely made the difference in the team as Bruno Fernandes. So that is very, very good. That is very, very good, yeah. But like I said, so far this season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has exceeded expectations. Obviously, got us qualification for the Champions League, and I did say, didn't I, how important Champions League was for our players, attracting players, and for the financial structure. We also finished 3rd, which was a good achievement. Because obviously earlier on in the season, you wouldn't have even thought that Solskjaer would have exceeded expectations because earlier on in the season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season for 30 years. And at that point, Solskjaer was close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. So he has done well in his first full season at the club. The big test for Solskjaer will be next season because next season is going to be his second full season at the club. And our expectations next season will probably to challenge for the title because obviously we want to be up there with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool, and obviously we have not won the Premier League since 2013. So there you go. Obviously, on a recent video, I give you the news on Tahith Chon. He's set to join Werder Bremen on a 10-month loan. He has joined their pre-season training camp, I think, today. But we've made the right decision by putting him out on loan. You know, Tahith Chon found game time very difficult at Man United. I think the likes of Dylan Levitt and James Garner, you know, there could be another two young players that go out on loan because they've found game time hard. We've recently promoted some other young players into the squad. Ethan Laird just recently got promoted into the squad. Ethan Galbraith, he's just recently got promoted into the senior squad. But we have got a lot of good young players coming through. And throughout the course of the season, I think Solskjaer has promoted the youth very, very well. You know, he really, really has. Just wait there a second. You know, he really, really has promoted the youth very, very well. But like I said, I've seen an upturn in form since January. Like I said, we haven't lost in the league since Burnley. You know, we are unbeaten in our last 14 league games. I've seen improvements anyway under Solskjaer. I think our recruitment's improved under him. He's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he came in. I think there's aspects of our game that have also improved. You know, there's also players that have improved, especially the top players. And that's obviously, you know, very, very good to see. And Solskjaer's been at the football club now over a year and a half. I think he has been permanent Manchester United manager for around, is it 16 and a half months. The main explanation we give Solskjaer the job permanently was reflect on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. In that. But I want things to work out under Solskjaer, really, really do, because he was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance. And, you know, he's learned quite a lot since he's come in as Solskjaer. Obviously, he's now got that managerial experience behind him. Man United is the third club in his managerial career. But now at the club, I think he knows what his best 11 is. He knows what his best formation is. Throughout the course of the season, did make a lot of rotation in the squad, but that was reflected on the injuries that we had. But don't forget, there was 5 games in a row in the Premier League where Solskjaer went with the exact same team. And that's the first time we've done that since like February 1993. We've also had some pretty good results under Solskjaer. We've had some big wins. Obviously, you know, beat Cardiff 5-1. That was obviously Solskjaer's first game in charge as Man United manager. You know, beating Tranmere 6-0. That was also another big win. Beating Club Brugge 5-0. Beating Lask 5-0 in the first match. Beating Chelsea 4-0 at the start of the season. You know, beating Newcastle 4-1. You know, beating Villa 3-0. You know, so we have had some big wins under the Norwegian and all of that. But on the other hand, you know, we've also had a lot of bad results. But if we can recruit well in this summer transfer window, then I think, you know, we can be up there for next season. Like I said, you know, teams have already made signings. You know, Chelsea, you know, they've got Ziyech, Werner, and I think they've now got Chilwell. And they're obviously, you know, looking to get Havertz. You know, Liverpool are closing on Thiago from Munich, and they've just recently got Solsjakers from Olympiacos for around 13 million. You know, City, they've signed Ferran Torres and Nathan Ake. Arsenal, they've just recently got Willian on a free. So, yeah, you know, we've got to start making signings in this summer transfer window. You know, it is a long window, like Solskjaer was saying, and there's plenty of time, obviously, you know, to get deals done. There is plenty of time. The transfer window shuts in October. We know that the new Premier League season starts on the 12th of September. I think the fixtures for the new season are going to be announced on the 22nd of August, if I am right. So there you go. But like I said, I don't know if Solskjaer's the foreseeable future for Man United. Obviously, next season will tell if he's the right man. Next season will tell. But Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson's retirement back in 2013, because we've seen 3 managers sacked since Ferguson, and that was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, and Jose Mourinho. And in the last 7 years, we've only won 3 trophies. But look what else we've done. Spent nearly £1 billion on players. We've recruited a good 30-odd players in since Alex Ferguson's retirement. You know, we spent a good 60-odd million under Moyes. We spent around 200-odd million under Van Gaal. And we spent, 400 million or just under 400 million, under Jose Mourinho. And so far under Solskjaer, you know, we have spent over £200 million, and Solskjaer has made 5 permanent signings so far at the football club. You know, he made 3 permanent signings last summer. He got Bruno Fernandes permanently in January. Igalo was obviously on loan. He wasn't permanent. And we've just recently signed that Filip Stevanovic permanently. But like I said, he's going to be officially joining us in the summer of 2021. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.